Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Tony Stark was able to build this in a cave with a box of scraps.
It's impossible.
Tony Stark was able to build this in a cave with a box of scraps.
Okay, so what do you need? So what do you need? It's a miracle. So it's a miracle.
Guns. Lots of guns. Lots of guns.
The shootout between those two groups started right here at the mobile gas station morning. Bullets were flying all across these lanes of traffic, hitting dealerships. Amazingly, no one was hurt.
We're looking at probably 20 shots were fired. 40 shots were fired.
Barrage of gunfire on the man's body found lying in the street.
3 or 4 o'clock in the morning.
Gunshots outside of club on Plymouth near Detroit's west side.
I just wish that it didn't happen like this. I don't want to see people knocking her, especially
Detroit police say sometime at 3:30 Sunday morning, two women were leaving. Alpha 7 had someone started shooting.
This morning, police need find the man. Help to find the man.
Detroit police has also already identified another man believed to be involved in the shooting. Detroit police say this all happened early Sunday morning. People got into some sort of argument. That's when someone opened fire, killing that 19-year-old man. The suspect drove off in a gray Cherokee.
Right now, a gunman is on west side after a deadly shooting at a children's party. It happened just hours ago at a park near Fullerton. Police tell us two men got into an argument that escalated. One man was shot and killed. The shooter ran off.
Guns. Lots of guns. Lots of guns.
Thank you for being patient with me. I'm struggle streaming, y'all. That's it ain't no other way to put it. This is a struggle stream, and I call myself trying to upgrade and do something different. And guess what? It didn't fucking work out. It didn't work out. It didn't work out. But hey, we are live in the motherfucking YouTube right now. You know, I heard this is one saying that I usually go by, but for some reason I didn't go by it this time, but it's called the 5 P's. Preparation prevents poor planning. There's another P in there, but that was 4. But that was the best piece of advice I ever got. But for some reason, you know, when you get older, you get to be an adult. You just forget all your training, all your come up, So I'm here. Thank you guys for being here. You could have been anywhere else. The topic is guns. Lots of guns. And it's become a trend. It's become ordinary to watch the news and hear about the latest shooting that took place. Every time you turn around, there is another gun shooting. And it seems like each story or each case or each incident becomes more trivial and more senseless. Just imagine yourself minding your own business. You at a party store. You in a line and you've been sitting there for over 20 minutes because the cashier is slow and they want to go home. They really don't want to be there. They got an attitude because they probably not making enough to pay everything. And some ignorant fool decides to cut in front of you. And next thing you know, well, you decide to stick up for yourself, and your conscience demands a sense of justice. You say to yourself, why is this fool cutting in front of me when I've been standing here for 20 minutes with this slow cashier? Who does this fool think he is? And why is it that wherever he has to be is more important than wherever you have to go? So they cut in front of you and you decide to stick up for yourself. And they pull out a gun and they shoot you. Imagine that. Imagine you out somewhere with your woman You out somewhere with your woman, and there's another fool. Y'all having a good time, a great time, enjoying yourself. There's another fool out there, and he brought his woman that he really shouldn't bring out in public. He brought his woman out, and she decides to hate on your woman. So your woman ain't gonna back down and take that. Next thing you know, she's arguing with the nigga, her man. So you ain't gonna just sit there and let some nigga talk to your woman any kind of way. So what happens? You get involved and he pulls out a gun. Imagine you just, you living your life, you living a good life, you working, you doing everything right, you paying your bills. And you meet a young lady. And she talks a good game. And you never suspect anything. And things get serious, hot and heavy. And next thing you know, you get surprised. You get the shock of your life. You never seen this coming. This, at one point, was marriage material. And then all of a sudden, the rug gets pulled out from under your feet. And guess what? She has a nigga. And this nigga is the craziest nigga since Planters Peanuts. And he decides he wants to kill your ass because he loves her. And if she's not going to be with him, then guess what? Imagine just sitting there with your friends. Imagine just sitting there with your people, and they are they think that they trying to be cool, and they got this new gun, this new 45 caliber, and they trying to show it off. You know what I'm saying? It's the latest. It's shiny. It's whatever. And they sitting there with a group of, with a group of people, and they think they big and bad, they tough, and they got some chicks around them, and they decide to they pull it out and flash it, and yeah, I'm the nigga, I'm the shit. You know what I'm saying? I just copped this latest. I just copped this. Look at me now. How you like me now? And they pull it out trying to show off. Are you sitting there just chilling? Don't suspect nothing. You sitting there chilling, thinking you with friends and whatever. Everything cool. This dude pull out a gun, trying to be the tough guy, trying to be the cool guy. Pointed at your face, pull the trigger. Blah, you dead. Imagine that. Imagine you just going to get some groceries. You just out and about. You budgeted yourself right, saved your money. You allocated money here for the bills, there for the gas. And now it's time to refresh the refrigerator. It's time to refresh the refrigerator, and you're at a grocery store. And you're at a grocery store, not thinking anything. You're just getting milk. You're just getting eggs for the grandkids or the kids. You're just getting oatmeal, bread, just the essentials, toilet paper. You out there, you minding your business, and some crazed lunatic happens to cross your path. It's hard to imagine because you would never think it would happen to you. When you hear these stories, these are everyday regular people like you and me. Somebody just waking up, getting ready for work, getting their daughter or their son ready for work. Ready for school. Getting the boys' pants ironed, getting breakfast ready, fixing their lunch ready, or giving them lunch money. You kiss them goodbye, and you say you have a great day at school, and you think come 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock, you're gonna see them again. And next thing you know, you hear breaking news on every station, on every news channel. And there was a mass shooting, and they happened to mention the name of the school of your son or your daughter. Can you imagine? I cannot, in my wildest nightmares, imagine hearing that. And you run to the school. You rush to the school because that's your baby. That's your heart. And you get there, and all the kids are with the cops and the police. The ambulance is nursing them. They got therapists seeing if they're okay. And you cannot find your son. And you cannot find your daughter. They are nowhere to be found. Imagine that. Imagine hearing that. Imagine hearing that your kid is unaccounted for at that school.
You think it was home, Dad?
Yeah. Please mute yourself, everybody, for right now. Just imagine that. Just imagine driving in your car and some sniper is on the overhang because they didn't have a father. Just imagine your sister or your auntie. They made a bad choice. They thought that they had a good nigga, Come to find out, he was a schizophrenic. But that's your sister. So, or that's your daughter. You're going to do anything in your power to see that they're okay. So you go over and to their house, and the nigga is beyond nuts. And he has a weapon. And he's not letting your daughter or your cousin or your sister, they're barricaded in the house, and then he's not letting her leave. And he shoots you for coming there. So many of these scenarios going on in the news. So much trivial stuff, so much anger, so much frustration, so much people deciding to handle their problems by pulling the trigger. Guns, lots of guns is the topic. And we are live on Facebook. And I am happy to announce that I have my cousin on the show.
Yo.
I'm so proud of this nigga. Y'all just don't know. Proud of this nigga. He got his show. It's called The Shank Show. And hey, yo, cuz we are live on Facebook right now, and I apologize for wasting your time. I had to, I like to experiment and try new things.
Yeah.
With the form. It didn't work out. But thank you for coming on. Thanks for your time.
You know, it's always a pleasure, cuzzo, and I do understand, because me myself, I have experience with the technical difficulties. It's all a learning process. So as we go along, we get better, we get more efficient, and that's the good thing in learning, is making mistakes is how you get better, or having not necessarily mistakes, but having difficulties is how you get better. So that's a good thing. Yep. Also, man, it's always a pleasure. Shout out to Everybody vs. Rich's show. Shout out to all the listeners, all the viewers. Hey, we are a family that is heavily opinionated. We are a family that we talk about a lot of these things anyway, off air and behind the scenes. So it's only right that we have this conversation, with the public, and so others can chime in, so we can see different perspectives. That was one of my main things with starting the podcast. Is I'm like, man, we talk in the barbershop, we talk, at each other's houses for the holidays. We always going on, about different topics. But I like this one. I like this topic. Guns and lots of guns, right? I know gun violence is at a high right now, and I think a lot of. Go ahead.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I just want to interject, but don't it seem like every time, every day, every week, every minute, every second, you hearing of a new gun story?
Mm-hmm.
That's why I named it Guns, Lots of Guns,
Yeah, definitely.
Don't it seem like?
Yeah, it is. It is. Every day it is. I mean, you can simply follow one. Yeah, it's nonstop. You can look at one news outlet, which I like to look at, is Metro Detroit News on Instagram, and every day you see some gun violence, pretty much every day. So, yeah, you know what, man? I think it's a multitude of things, though. I think that kind of the core of it may be, the raising and the environment, but a lot of it is kids having access to these type of weapons. And, a lot of this shit is high powered weaponry that they're using. So how are they getting at this age, how are they getting their hands on this type of shit? which you know, I think is a very important point. But nevertheless, man, you know, hey, I really think we're in a sad state because of like the younger generation, man. The respect is out the window. Respect our elders. All that shit out the window. They cuss in front of the elders. They do drugs in front of the elders. They shoot motherfuckers in front of the elders. They don't give a fuck about that shit no more. So it's like, man, we in a dark place, man, and you damn near gotta just surround yourself with like-minded people, you know, and try to avoid the riffraff at all costs. But sometimes you can't.
Absolutely.
Sometimes you can't. So, you know, that's kind of my take on it, Rich.
Absolutely. And to that point, bro, you gotta go to the gas station. You gotta go to the grocery store.
Yeah.
Your kids gotta go to school.
Yeah. But let me say this though, Rich. And that's a good point that you bring up, like the gas station, right? And it's funny you say that because I remember when I was younger, I had no fear or even no thought of going to the gas station. I would, wherever I see one, I stop. You know, now that I'm older
Right.
and I'm more experienced, I'm gonna pick what gas station I'm gonna go get some gas from now. And if I ride past a gas station and there's a whole bunch of niggas outside, I'm gonna go to the next one. You know, because
Thank
you know, you just want to avoid, you just got to
Thank
try to avoid shit. You know, you don't want to put yourself in a position to where, you know, you put yourself at a disadvantage or you put yourself right in the mouth of the drama. So we got to
Right.
make better decisions too. A lot of these carjackings and shootings, what are these people, these victims? Why are they there? What would they think? Why would they there at this time of night? Not saying it's their fault, because it's not. But I'm just saying, let's make better decisions to keep ourselves out of those type of predicaments.
Yeah, and you're right. And it boils down to common sense. Because I used to choose my gas stations by the price, right?
Right.
And you know, in the low income, low economic areas, in the urban areas per se, you're probably gonna 9 times out of 10 find better gas prices. But now I would rather pay extra
Mhm.
to walk in the gas station and not have a nigga standing outside saying, "Hey, yo, man, let me get a
Want some
couple
weed?
dollars."
Or you want some weed? You want to buy some weed? Shit.
Hey, you need your window clean? I'll
Right.
pump your gas for you.
Hey,
You know what
hey,
I'm
look.
saying?
When I do, even when I'm in the gas station, I don't like for people to approach me when I'm at the gas station. So if somebody is walking up, they could be friendly or asking. I'd be like, hey, stop right there. Don't come no closer. You know, I let them know. Stop right there. Just say what you're gonna say to me. You ain't got to get all up close and shit. You know, I'm gonna let that motherfucker blam, man. I ain't taking no chance, man. I got kids to go home too, man. You playing with these niggas.
Yeah. Look,
Well,
I ain't
hey,
never
hey,
had
Rich.
that.
Hey, Rich, hold up,
Go
hold
ahead.
up. Sorry
I'd
to
like to
interject.
welcome
Let,
your brother
let me
King.
do it. Hold
Your
up,
brother
hold up.
King.
Wait. Let me give the great intro here. Hold up.
I was trying to do it for you, but go
Let me give
ahead.
the great intro. Please allow me to introduce my motherfucking self. Okay. Well, it's good to see the fam online. You know what I mean? I had chimed in and we went from a few platforms back and forth. So
Hey,
I'm glad
let
that
me introduce y'all. Real quick. King, this is my cousin. His name is Shank. He a rapper.
Yes,
You know,
sir.
he in cahoots with a lot of famous people out there,
Oh, I know
producers
who he
and
is.
everything.
I went to school with
He
him.
got a whole.
That's the man right there.
Okay, you know already.
Yeah, the Southfield High School in the house. Now, I was known as Jonathan Cheeks or Jonathan Butt Cheeks. Remember? You.
Say that again, King. Say that again.
Yeah, Jonathan Cheeks. Remember Cheeks? Me, Will Cheeks,
Yeah.
and Jonathan Cheeks at Southfield High School.
Yeah.
What up, Joe?
I remember that. What's up, family? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm glad that you're doing well. And Yeah, we making it happen,
Small
man.
world, y'all.
I was just curious, when are they gonna be doing
What
a
up,
reunion
Ken?
for the South High School reunion?
Shit,
You know.
I'm on
Oh, you went up.
Unmute yourself, Shay.
hey, it's a small world, man. Hey, man, look, them was the days, man, back then, man. We had a lot of fun back then, man.
Yeah, we did. But you know, we was just talking about the gas station situation. You know, a couple motherfuckers will walk up to you like, "Hey, man, you got about $1 or two." I'm like, "Damn, man, I was gonna ask you for some money, shit." You know, he's like, "I ain't got shit." I'm like, "I ain't got it. I was gonna ask you for some shit." You know, so I walk up on up in there, you know. But yeah, it's really hard to really, you know, it's sad too, man, because you see these guys, you know, they could really be getting some work in the streets, like, you know, but they just decide to just, you know, take donations. And I mean, that's a harder job than what I do. Like to feel the humiliation and the rejection all day. That's a hard job, man, versus
Hey,
bagging groceries or some shit.
hey, did this King? It's crazy, right? Because his whole families be out there now. It's just to this year, I seen a whole family, the man, the wife, and 3 kids out there with the sign on the side. I couldn't believe it, bro. I'm like, it gotta be a better way.
Yeah, it's gotta be, you know, and so we can help but, you know, to, you know, walk up in there with our hand on our shit just in case, you know, one of them get angry and say, "You know what, you was my last motherfucker. And if you don't say yes, then fuck it, run it." You know what I mean? And then you run that shit. The next thing you know, it's like, you know what I'm saying? What the fuck? Now everybody scared. Now everybody rolling out of the gas station because they didn't heard shots right now. You know, all because
You know
somebody
let me just
frustrated.
interject this. Just interject this, King.
Yeah.
Let me just interject this.
Yeah.
They're getting younger and younger, standing out in the gas station. I seen a bro, he was 18 years old, man, at a gas station about a month ago. And I said, "Hey, look, bro, you know they hiring at such and such. You know what I'm saying?" And he like, "Yeah, I'm working on getting my driver's license so I can get to a job." I'm like, "Yeah, okay, I feel you, bro." After I talked to him, man, I was more inclined to give him some money, and I gave it to him. You know,
Yeah,
because he wasn't just somebody just trying to be lazy. He was trying, but he was just in a fortunate situation. But they're getting younger and younger. I'm seeing Arabs in Dearborn now. Go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I just wanted to interject that.
But let me say this, Rich. Like, at some point, man, we got to say, okay, are you mentally disabled? Are you not capable of working? Like, what's the situation? Because if a motherfucker just doing bad, there's nothing wrong with a motherfucker lending a helping hand to get them through. But if you're gonna be out here week after week after week after week after week like this your job, then we gotta start having a conversation about, damn, you know, are you trying? Like, is this just, you know what I mean? Like, what the fuck are you doing? You know, and my thing is, man, I done been down, I done been up, I done been down, I done been up, I done been down. A lot of times when I'm down, I can't get a motherfucker to help me. So I think that over the years, I've
know that.
Over the years, I have came to be a little more cold-hearted towards them because it's like, damn, if I was fucked up, would you give me this money? Or would you even be in a position to give me this money? So it's like, if I can help somebody, I will. But at the end of the day, man, we all got to be accountable and responsible and taking charge of our own lives, at least enough to be a grown and take care of yourself. You know what I'm saying? Work a job anywhere, nigga. I didn't work when I was younger. I worked at Wendy's. I worked at White Castle. Worked at McDonald's. Nigga, I was working everywhere because I wanted shoes and clothes, nigga. You know what I'm saying? So I could, you know, I had to get that shit. I had to work and get that shit. That's what I was on. You know.
That's right. That's right. Sherm stayed fresh in school. God damn.
Hey, Shank brought up a good point. Oh, listen. Y'all listen. My cousin Shank got his own. He got a show, and he's doing it real big, and I'm so proud of him, man.
Yeah.
It's called the Shank. It's called the Shank Show.
Yeah, I saw it advertised on Facebook.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Look, I want y'all to check it out. I want y'all to. Matter of fact, it's a show getting ready to start.
Yeah.
What time does it start?
I'm
about to. I'm be on it.
Yeah, we probably gonna start by the 11. I say by the 11, probably about 15, 20 minutes. You know, I wanted to come in here and make sure, you know, I did my thing with you because you know how we do. You know, we get paper, stay low on the Shank Show, man. Make sure y'all subscribe, man. Please subscribe to the Shank Show YouTube channel, man. I appreciate it, man. And yeah, if y'all can tune in today, tune in.
Look, now I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna give. Look. And I'm not blowing smoke up nobody's asses, but I don't watch. I'm very picky with my what I patronize on YouTube, right? And I've watched literally every show, and I am entertained by every topic, and I'm engaged by it.
That's love.
So that's my endorsement. And
That's love.
I'm not saying because I'm not saying that because it's my cousin, but I'm saying it from a fan's perspective, from a person who consumes a lot of YouTube.
Rich,
you know
and I
saying?
appreciate that. That means a lot, man, because you know that's the goal, you know, of the Shank Show is to entertain folks, is to keep people engaged and for them to like the content. So that means a lot, man. And coming from you, that means a lot, man, because I know how critical you are and how of a consumer you are of entertainment. So I appreciate that. That's love, cuz.
No doubt, cuzzo. Now, I mean, you brought up a great point. And now the topic of the show is and we always go off and topic. And a lot of times we find ourselves on the topic of religion, which to me, really, it boils down everything, no matter where you go in a conversation, no matter where you go in life, one way or another is going to boil down to God and Satan, yin and yang, evil versus
You're
good.
right, because you're gonna find out. You're gonna find out that who was the first one to manufacture a weapon to keep the way of the tree of life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The white folks. Hey, listen, we don't make none of these guns. We don't traffic none of these guns. All we do is buy them once they here in the neighborhood, right? How in the fuck do we have access to shit that the army using? I mean, look, man. You know, that's a big point of contention. Is they know what the fuck they doing. They giving us the guns because they know what it's gonna do. You know, I ain't mad at a illegal CPL holder. You know, and I think they need to change some laws within this shit though. They need to get tighter on as far as selling them guns to the mentally ill people and letting them get a hold of them. It got to be something in place, some protocol or something to pass. I don't fucking know. Something got to be done. But then also, you know, for a felon, just because I'm a felon doesn't mean I don't have the right, or I shouldn't have the right to defend my person and my home. Why can't I at least have a firearm in my home, even if I'm a felon? What if what I'm a felon don't even have nothing to do with no gun? What you know what I'm saying? So I think they gotta look at this shit a little bit and change it a little bit, man. But at the end of the day, you know, you got your cousin Reggie Reyes Davis with the bullet bill, and he was trying to restrict the amount of ammo that you could purchase. That may have some effect on it, you know. But at the end of the day, man, it's a lot of people doing things to try to curb this violence. You know, Reggie Reyes Davis is running for state representative right now, He had the ceasefire initiative.
That's our cousin. That's our cousin, by the way, Reggie
Yeah,
Reg, y'all.
yeah, it's our first cousin.
Yeah.
And right now,
For the people that didn't know,
now,
he used to be a DJ.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So yeah, Reggie started in radio. You know, he was one of the most popular radio personalities for a long time. He did radio in California, Florida, many different places. And then he got into politics. He was the charter head over the Detroit charter for a long while. Now you know he helped Duggan get elected as well, and now he's running for state representative. So everybody listening, hey, go out there, vote. Reggie Reg Davis is the down to earth guy. He's gonna work for the people. He's trying to right now curb the gun violence for y'all. He got a whole ceasefire initiative in place. You know, where it's trying to restrict the amount of ammo. So you know, hey, we gotta just anytime we can get some game, and that's what these podcasts is kind of, you know, doing as well, is giving game. Maybe we'll stop a young nigga from doing some crazy shit. He might hear one of us on here and be like, man, that's some real shit, man. I feel that. You know, you never know, you know, so that's part of it too, man, is trying to get this message out, get our narrative out there. You know what I'm saying? Niggas ain't gotta always shoot niggas. What happened to nigga pulling up and catching the fade, nigga? A lot of shit ain't worth a nigga shooting them for what? You know?
That's right. And you know, just to piggyback on that.
Hold on, King. Shank, you brought up a great point earlier, and you said I think you said something to the extent of, but I'm paraphrasing, that you never know who you may run into who might have a mental, who might be challenged mentally or have some type of where they need some type of therapy. But just to piggyback off of that, I think we are living in a generation right now where pretty much everybody needs therapy. From the cashier to the stock boy to, you look at the numbers. Just look at the numbers and the statistics of how many broken families there are, which is probably the foundation of it.
Yeah.
I'd like to introduce to the show our cousin. Once again, this family goes wide and vast. But I got my cousin Quinn on the phone. Quinn,
what up, baby?
Unmute yourself. I know you've been listening.
Can you hear me?
What do you think? Yeah. What do you now? The topic of the show is guns, lots of guns. And I named it that because it seems like every single day you hear another story about somebody getting shot over something trivial, over something stupid. It's something else every day involving a gun. And I just posed the question, what do you think about the fact that we may be living in a world right now where you can literally put on a blindfold, walk outside, and point to the first motherfucker you see, and that motherfucker needs therapy? I say we live in a world full of people that needs therapy. What do you think?
Well, as far as the guns, like guns is not the problem. It's people. You feel me? People pick them up and use them. See, guns kind of equal the battlefield. You know what I'm saying? Because if you got some people breaking in your house, you feel me? It equals the battlefield. It equals things out. You know what I mean? You take the guns off, people still gonna kill. People still, they pick up a knife. You know what I mean? So, or if the army the only people with guns, they can get corrupted and come get you, and you ain't got nothing to defend yourself. So it ain't. I mean, guns do kill people, but it's the people that use them. You know what I mean? So, like, as far as like a mental person getting into a gun and doing something crazy, that's another story. That's something we gotta focus on and try to figure out how we can stop that. But it's people that do it though, man. It's people that take it, and that's the reason you really need them, is to defend yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because it's people that's crooked. You know what I'm saying? So like people be wanting to do wicked things. You know what I mean? So guns just kind of balance the playing field, where if one of them crooked people come your way, you can defend yourself. Because say a 6'4" giant come and he mentally ill, right? And he come and there ain't no guns around, right? It ain't an equal battlefield no more, or equal playing field no more. He'll take you out. You feel me? Yeah, beat the brakes off of you and take whatever you got. You feel me? So, I think it's a must you be able to defend yourself. Like everybody who has a gun might not, be should have it, but as long as you got yours, it's like I said, it's an equal playing field.
Right. And you know what? It's a law out there that basically is very, very unreasonable. This law is basically saying that if somebody break in your house, all right, and they are they're a reasonable man or a reasonable woman, you have to talk it out with them before you do deadly force. Because if you
wait a minute, say that one more time. Say that. Wait a minute. Say that one more time. Did you? I just want to make sure I heard you correct.
That basically states that if someone invades your home and you assume deadly force without seeing if he's a reasonable man or a reasonable woman, actually be prosecuted for that. If you assume deadly force without seeing if they're a reasonable man or a reasonable woman that breaks in.
So wait a minute. So what you're saying? You're supposed to wait. You're supposed to sit back. You're in the peace. You're in the comfort of your own home, and somebody has the audacity to break. Somebody has the audacity to break in your home. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Break in your home, uninvited.
Right.
They gotta break something to get in.
Right.
They gotta disturb your kid, disturb your wife, scare them to half to death. So you're supposed to sit. Are you saying that somebody is actually considering a law that you're supposed to sit back and wait to find out if whether or not they're going to kill you or not, or kill your family first? You got to sit back and reason and talk it out.
No, I don't think
right.
That.
That's
I think
ridiculous.
Like let's say some drunk guy.
I got
break
one
in your
for
house.
I got one for you.
Let me get Nerio.
I didn't mean to break in your house, bro. You know what I mean? I'm drunk.
I got one for you.
Let me get Neary.
You know what I'm saying?
I want to welcome Neary.
But if a nigga break
Neary to the show, everybody.
How y'all doing, man?
I want to welcome Neary to the show, everybody. He hasn't had a chance to chime in on the subject.
Just been sitting there listening to y'all. How y'all doing, first and foremost?
Welcome to the show, Neary. Listen, did you just hear what King just said about? I guess there's some politicians considering that ludicrous law or whatever.
Yeah, I got one for you. I've been suffering 5 years from that shit, man. So the deal is, I had two next door neighbors, one on my left, one on my right, living in the middle, right off of Alter Road. I had the beginning of Christmas, they broke into my shit. I let it go. I didn't retaliate, didn't do anything. I want to say just before July 4th, they ran into my house, assaulted my significant other, dragged her out of the fucking house, bro, and literally started whooping her ass. Now, these are the next door neighbors, and this is all over kid shit. This is why we tell children, stay your ass in the house. This is what I want you to do this and that and the third. So we'll make this short. I lived at the time, I was staying in Romeo. That's an hour away from Detroit. I drove all the way to Detroit from Romeo. It took me like 40 minutes to get there. I had a Dodge Charger at that time. I pull into my house. I have a gun on me. I have my gun in the trunk, and I have the clip in my pocket. But I got a holster. So I'm not even fully assembled yet. So before I could even pull into my driveway, the next door neighbor, which was a guy, it's a bunch of females outside fighting. He pulls a gun and he's pointing it and aiming towards my car as I'm pulling into my driveway. I get out the car. She's about to get ready to go over to my man's. I had to grab her, pull her back. Before I could even assemble my fucking gun, the police pulls up. First thing that they say to me is, because I'm dead smack in front of the street. He has his, tucks it. They tell me to put my hands up, put them in the air, and if I move, they're gonna shoot to kill. No warning. These motherfuckers is already trigger happy. Long story short, they take me and my significant other down to the fucking precinct. I've been fighting this case for 5 years. They charge me for a felony of having my gun and a misdemeanor for saying what the fuck is going on. My gun is registered to me and my gun is registered to the home that I was protecting at the time. And I'm standing in front of my house. My lawyer told me after I paid him $15,000 that I didn't hire a friend of the courts. I didn't hire a lawyer. I hired a friend that's friends of the fucking courts. So because he went to school with them, this was the best fucking deal that he could get. Then on top of that, these motherfuckers lied. Normally when somebody does damage to your property or when somebody's already in trouble themselves, there's no such thing as you being involved. The case is closed. So while I'm sitting here waiting for fucking probation, guess who the fuck walks in through the fucking door? The people that I had a fucking altercation with. So fuck them laws. I don't understand how is it that because you are the type of person that don't get in trouble, you pay more. But the people that get in trouble, scheming scammers, the ones that have guns, they know that they're going to see them again. So the consequences for them don't mean shit to them. But for a person like me that's trying to make something out of their life, y'all will hinder me and make me pay for it. So these gun laws that they have, it's almost like fucking child support. Once you sign your name on the dotted line, that's your ass. So they're putting you in a position to where you're actually setting yourself up to either be killed or take a life. And they know we need them. There's no such thing as we don't need them. We fucking need them. Because every day we got some type of fucking idiot. And every day, 9 times out of 10, most people that get fucking weapons are because they're trying to protect their home and they're trying to protect themselves. Because we out here doing shit that's legit. But you got people that's out here watching us do shit legit that want to take our fucking lives because they can't do what we're doing or because they're too fucking lazy and don't want to. So what do we do? How you change that? Still got to go to court.
I don't know if y'all ever remember the movie. Were you finished, Neri? I'm sorry. I don't know.
Yeah, no, man.
I don't want to cut you off.
No, I was done. I mean, I was just asking that simple-minded question of there's no real way to get around guns, man. Guns is just like drugs.
To expound on what you were saying, Nerio, when you said it's the great equalizer, right? I don't know if y'all remember the movie Juice, Tupac, Omar Epps, where if you had the gun, you had the juice, right? That's what that popped up into my mind as you said that, right? The gun was a revolutionary invention or whatever. It changed the face of war from the musket, right? Before that, it was the bow and arrow, slingshot, but it literally changed the outcome of who would win the war. But see now there is unlimited access to, which was, I think, intended, right? But who are these people? There are people who should not have a gun that have a gun, right? Let me just play this right here.
You got 1 minute to come up with my money. And at the end of that time, I want to smell money or smell blood. It's your choice.
Listen, I want you to hear something.
I don't want to hear shit.
You call that a minute?
You don't even have to say nothing. I already know. I know. I can't help it, man. Don't give me no gun, man. You know what I'm gonna do.
Don't give me no gun. You know what I'm gonna do.
Honest.
See, I played that video. It's funny. It was an underrated movie, by the way, called Be Cool with John Travolta. Cedric the Entertainer played did a good job. But there's people out here who have guns that shouldn't have guns, right? And it seems like the people who should have the guns, they're trying to take away by passing these laws. What is a law anyway? It's a piece of paper. Think these motherfuckers out here give a fuck about what law is on the books? Long as they have that equalizer.
Because there's always a way to get around that shit, man. It's called legalese. If you know your laws, there's always a loophole because it can't cover everything. So there's always ways to get around every scenario. If these boys is walking around here with fucking AK-47s around their neck and no paperwork, as long as you can see it in high sights, they not getting shot for that shit. That's the crazy shit that I've ever seen. I see it so much. Like even at the fucking dispensaries, you see them guys, they standing outside with their shit. Half the time, them dudes don't even have paperwork.
Right. I'd like to welcome my big cuzzo to the show. He goes by the name of 2 Tons. He's a producer extraordinaire and the best beat maker that I ever known in person. Mr. 2 Tons, I know you've been sitting back and listening to the back and forth. Please unmute yourself and please share with us your thesis, if you will. Mr. 2 Tons, can you hear us? Jesus, the notorious just please us with your lyrical thesis.
How's it going? How's everyone?
Please.
That's the deal.
All right. I know you've been listening to what we've been speaking on. Did anything in particular catch your peak of interest?
Yeah.
What would you like to share?
I heard
we are live on by the way.
Oh, thank you. I heard bits and pieces of it, but I didn't. Is liquor? No, I can't.
I'll take it.
I don't know, man. You might start flipping out. I'm sorry.
Don't know.
Okay, so gun violence was the topic, and you showed a video, but I didn't get a chance to see it because I was trying to wrap up what I was doing here at the business.
Let me just play it one more time. Let me Mr. 2 Tons, let me play this one more time. And I prefaced it by saying that there are people out here in the world who don't have access to guns, who are the
Right.
people that really need the gun, and there are people out here in the world who shouldn't have a gun at all. Just like it reminds me of parents who shouldn't have babies or kids, but there are people who don't need to be around the gun, right?
Right.
But let me just play this. That's why I played this. Hold on.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you got 1 minute to come up with my money. And at the end of that time, I want to smell money, your blood. It's your choice.
Listen, I want you to hear something.
I don't want to hear shit.
You call that a minute?
You don't even have to say nothing. I already know. I know. I can't help it, man. Don't give me no gun, man. You know what I'm gonna do.
Okay. That was from the movie Be Cool, a very underrated, good movie, by the way. Sequel to Get Shorty.
Oh.
But yeah, there are people out here who shouldn't. The word gun shouldn't even come out of their mouth, let alone have a gun in their hand.
Yeah, that's true.
I also brought up the fact that I think that, in my opinion, that there are a lot of people who. Please mute yourself, everybody. There's a feedback coming. There are a lot of people who I think need therapy. If there was a young person entering to college for the first time, I would recommend they either get into the morgue business,
yes,
because that is
my back covered,
or get into the business of therapy or counseling, because I think we're living in a world where there are a lot of sick people. What is your thoughts, Mr. Two Tons, my cousin, hailing from the great Motor City?
Yes, it's a lot of changes and behaviors of people in the past. I'd say within the past like 10 years, there's been a steady increase in negativity, a steady increase in violence, and the culture is changing as well. And it's a really crazy time that we're living in right now. And there's a lot of violence, a lot of gun deaths. Somebody I know was in the hospital yesterday, and about 4 or 5 gunshot wound victims came in there while they was in the waiting room. And everywhere you look, it's stuff taped off and teddy bears everywhere, and you know what I mean. So it's really, violence has increased, and like you were saying, with the gun laws, as far as passing gun laws that takes rights away from people to bear arms, would that be a remedy to, or will it have an impact on violence on the street? Most violence on the street, these guys are not buying their guns from the gun store. You know what I mean? They're buying them off the street. So they'll continue to do that. And so what'll basically happen is the black market for guns will increase, and they'll make more money on the black market selling guns. And it could potentially be more guns on the street. You know what I mean? So now, as far as the mass shootings, you look. Somebody said an interesting point about the mass shootings, and said that those guys that do the mass shootings are the ones that's buying the guns legally, right?
Yeah.
And then you have the consistent gun violence that is on the street every single day. And these guys don't buy their guns from a gun store; they buy their guns off the street. So passing laws to restrict people to buy weapons will it have a
let me just cut it here.
on the violence in the
without
street?
cutting you off. That is an excellent point.
Yeah.
Because how many felons do you know, Cuzzo, that can't get a gun, right?
Right.
How many felons do you know that are out here committing these mass shootings? Zero.
Exactly. So the thing is, okay, so if you want to put it on the scale, so if you want to put it on the scale and say, okay, how many mass shootings are in a year and how many deaths from gun violence are in a year, you're going to have to go with the gun violence in the streets. You know what I mean? So taking the guns away from the citizens could potentially impact the mass shootings, possibly, maybe not, because they're just going to resort to buying the guns off the street. It's just going to increase the black market, and people are going to be trying to jump into that market to make money. They're going to take advantage of that. It'll be a new hustle. It'll be the new thing. They'll be selling guns. It'll be gun houses, like crack houses. You know what I mean? And what I was saying is that it's just going to increase the black market with the guns. I was leading to a point, but I lost my
Fucking belt.
let me see.
What do you say to hey King? You there, King?
Sir, yes, sir. I'm here. Go ahead.
Hey, Cuzzo Tons, my boy King just brought up something interesting. I don't know if you heard it or not. What was that? What was that law you said?
Yeah, it was
the
law. It's the law called People versus Wafer. So where they're basically trying to say, that for I say if you're a homeowner and somebody breaking your house, if you do not see if he or she is a reasonable man to work it out, you cannot assume deadly force. You have to use an undeadly force. If you use a deadly force, if you haven't checked to see if this is a reasonable man, you can wind up getting locked up for somebody invading your home.
So somebody basically breaking into your home could be a reasonable man, right?
Right, but what if they have a weapon?
So here's how it
What
works.
if they have a weapon and they're a reasonable person?
Because-
And they come
because
in
here-
real polite and say, hey, I want to take all this shit up out of here. How you guys doing?
So here's how it normally works, though. You get
The
three
gentleman
tries.
home invader.
Go ahead, bro.
You get
What
3
the hell?
tries. So what you're supposed to do is, and shit that they don't tell us, is that you're supposed to load at least 3 rubber bullets in there first. That third one or the fourth one can sometimes kill you, take you out. So they have a new weapon out now where it's filled with rubber bullets and it'll stop your ass. If you don't stop after the third warning, the next shot is gonna kill you. They want you to get 3 warnings first before you even load up the whole clip.
But what about the home invader that comes in there and he has a piece on him? And he thinks nobody's home, and then he look, and then they're in the house and they have a weapon, and you pull your weapon out and you're firing rubber bullets, and he's firing bullets. He's firing guaranteed it's not going to be rubber bullets in his weapon.
Get ready to go to court.
What
kind of law is this, man?
What it seems like to me, what it seems like, I'm sorry to cut everybody off though, but what it seems like to me is that they want more victims. They want you to be a sitting duck in your own home. so it could go against the narrative for gun ownership. That's what it seems like to me.
They're trying to, you know what it kind of looks like with them trying to pass these strict gun laws and stuff, infringing on people's rights to bear arms. Well, you know, there was an influx in purchasing weapons and ammunition in the past few years, where in gun states like Arizona, I know somebody who was trying to purchase a weapon, and you know they're on every corner, all the pawn shops, they're everywhere out there, you know, and it was extremely hard to find one. And then they had to go to another place to find ammunition, you know, and that's crazy because it's everywhere out there, you know. And so what is going on here? You got people stockpiling weapons and stockpiling ammunition, and then now these laws is coming to infringe on the people to not be able to purchase weapons. But what about the weapons that they have? You know,
they can't retake. They can't take all of that. And then a lot of people are getting ready for these damn zombie apocalypse shit, building bunkers and all of that crazy
what's
shit.
really going on? So now we ain't gonna be able to buy weapons. Now when the shit get real and we need to get,
we gonna be the first ones out.
You know, and, you know what I'm saying. You know, and it's not gonna stop. It's not gonna stop the gun violence for them passing stricter laws on guns. It's not going to do it. It's not going to do it.
Some of these people can actually make their own guns if they spend the time and do their research. I know people that buy the parts and just start.
No, what's going to happen? What's going to happen is you're going to have these cartels, Russian cartels, and all these different cartels going to be smuggling guns in, and it's going to be a boom in the gun trade. That's just what's going to happen because people are going to be like, "Fuck that! I'm going to have a weapon."
So now let me ask this question. And Rich, you could chime in on this because the shit baffles me, right? So why is it that we have so many supply of guns, right? But why do we take them and sell them to Iraq or sell them to other foreign countries just to make a fucking deal? Why are we giving them our shit?
Well, you have independent corporations that sell guns. You know what I mean? The government does sell arms and stuff. They have bids, and you can bid. They get all kind of stuff.
Government doesn't make it.
But
the government gives the
yeah.
contracts to weapons manufacturers. The weapons manufacturers lobby the politicians so that they go to wars, so that then other countries need the guns, and then there's a market.
Yeah.
They create.
If it's in their interest,
and they use chaos to create markets internationally, so that the government can sell arms. The United States government and the companies that supply and make the guns in America are the #1 arms dealers in the world. Watch Woodrow Wilson's farewell address.
Yeah.
He warns about the military-industrial complex in the fucking.
They sell guns to if it's in their political interest in the whatever country or whatever it is.
It's not even political. Their political interest is money and power.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that means Biden's got to be the stupidest motherfucker on the planet.
Biden is not an American.
He wasn't president material anyway, but he left all our military.
To me, what it looks like is Biden works for the Chinese Communist Party, and he's probably Chinese in a white suit.
I mean, because I have to ask these questions because a lot of this shit don't make sense. We can get a ghost. I mean, a gun as a ghost.
Right. And then this is another. You got to look at this angle too. You got to look at who's in power, and you got to look at their history. And if you look at Biden's history,
crime bill.
He passed the most horrible bill in the history of mankind, the crime bill that he passed, and they tried to blame it on the drug trade, the drugs, and we're gonna, but the thing is, the bill was so corrupt because they had an interest in the prison systems. They had an interest in that. And so the more the prisons get filled in these privatized prisons and everything, the more their stocks go up, the more money they make.
They own stock
You
in
know?
the companies that
And
give
so
us the
then-
blankets and our toothpaste.
One sec. So
Sorry.
so then so then you look at him, and then a lot of people have been in prison unlawfully because it turns into a numbers game opposed to solving crimes and arresting people for the crimes
for what they actually did.
As long as they can piece together some shit that fit and sound good, your ass go, and so that's what it turned out to be because there was so many incentives in place. It was so corrupt. It even turned people that didn't even think about being corrupt to being corrupt. You know what I'm saying?
So you know what we should do? So we should refund the police
then
$100,000 per snitch, and watch how them niggas snitch on each other. Because if you think about it, doctors don't snitch on each other. I mean, doctors snitch on each other when shit is going on. Then you're not about to take my license. He cut off
But
the
look
leg.
at now look at the vice president, Kamala Harris. She has an interest in the prison system as well. So their thing is to fill the prisons so they can make more money to increase their fortune. Now you look at Kamala Harris, and when I was in San Diego, and I was, some people was talking about her, and they were saying that she's kind of like a persecutor to Black people and Mexican people and stuff, and she
It's like an Uncle Ruckus.
was just hanging people like she
Yeah,
hated.
she like an Uncle Ruckus. She
You
like
know
an
what
Uncle
I'm
Ruckus.
And then they, so I looked it up because they said that it was a parent and their student was skipping school a lot, and so they got charged with truancy, and they went to court on it, and they convicted that parent of truancy, and the parent and it was a lady, she got 3 years in prison because a fucking kid was skipping school. Come on, man.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And so these are the people that they elected in office. So now you got to look at the shift and understand the angle that they're coming at. They want to fill up the prisons, and then they got all this weird shit going on with the schools now. From elementary school, they targeting kids and labeling them, and they, they're trying to make a pipeline through the school systems to fucking prison.
Yeah, because I just saw North Carolina.
Like wait, one second. Listen, they'll say like this, like, oh, we think your child needs to take this test. And the next thing you know, their child needs test. And then now they the child, it's a psychological thing because now the child is thinking that he's bad or something's wrong with them or whatever.
Incompetent.
And then, they singling out our people. And this was something that was happening on a national scale. And there was an organization that was fighting against it about 4 or 5 years ago. But we don't hear nothing about, and this is how I found out about it, because they was trying to pass something. A bill, because they were creating awareness that on a nationwide scale, the schools are targeting minority kids and labeling them and all this kind of stuff. And then the kids end up, experiencing residual effects from that and having trouble and stuff like that. Because, they stay on them and keep writing them up. And then their files, they look like they're troubled kids and really ain't. You know what I mean? And so you look at now they're trying to take the guns away. So now they take the guns away. You get caught with a gun, it's a stiff penalty. Where you going? Prison. Everything is geared towards routing motherfuckers to the prison and filling that bitch up. You know what I mean? The more money that they route, the more people that they route to them prisons. Let me tell you, Biden's bill, tremendous amount of people went to prison, and a lot of them are coming out. They're finding out they didn't even commit the crime, And under Kamala Harris, even the people that were under her was just boom, stiff sentences, just locking them up. I'm talking about like left and right. You know what I mean? So that's like if you got a Hostess, let's say you own a percentage of Hostess cupcakes. You know what I mean? And now you're trying to get them cupcakes gone. So you're doing everything in your power. You're doing everything in your power to sell the cupcakes. You reaching out to these people, you getting in this, it's the same thing. It's all about money. You know, it's all about
So,
money.
And
so what I
actually
read
heard
about
that
was North Carolina was
Kalama,
trying to cause a death penalty for abortions.
Damn. See, I'm telling you, all the laws is gonna be geared towards shit that people are not gonna want to accept and end up getting caught under the new laws and going to fucking prison. It's gonna be more people in prison than ever before with all these bullshit ass laws until they get them out of there. And you know what's really weird is the fact that no fucking presidents out of all these people that was been in and out of the office since he promoted the crime bill in the 90s. Mm-hmm. Nobody touched on it. Nobody talked about it. They all knew it was horrendous. The only president that even mentioned anything about that was Trump. He said, "What the fuck is this?" You know what I'm saying?
He's like, "Get the shit out of here. You're fired."
Right. So
wait a minute. Hold on.
So now you had investigative journalists. Go ahead.
Trump is the most racist president that in history, right? I thought, right?
Yeah, his dad was a KKK leader.
I told y'all. Well, they say his dad narrative, right? His grandfather was a KKK member.
His dad was a KKK. That's a true fact. His
grandfather was a KKK member. But dig this though. Okay, let's talk about him then. So Trump, if you think about it, Trump, he didn't make his money off minorities. He made his money off yuppie rich white people. You see what I'm saying?
Money from his dad.
Right. But he made his generated money off of the rich white people, not minorities. Okay. So those type of people usually don't even fuck with minorities or even being in those type of social circles or anything like that. Because they don't have to. But throughout the years, we've seen Trump in all types of minority circles and things. You see what I'm saying? So even rappers used to talk about him, and all this kind of stuff, and
well,
I don't think
I'll say this.
Understand that at the end of the day, he's a white man. He's gonna be a white man before he's anything. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
He's gonna be a white man before anything.
To that, I will say this: it took white people to abolish slavery. Black folk didn't do it on their own. It took we had to have some type of white connection for civil rights. Martin Luther King and all those civil rights people, had some type of white connection or white some white folk that was down with the cause.
Oh, back to back.
Right.
So and with the Trump thing, I was on Facebook. I don't y'all and Tons, you one of my Facebook friends. I don't know if y'all saw me. I was on there literally every day getting called coon, sell out, because I saw all of this coming. All of this shit that we going through right now, I saw it coming. And I tried to tell people, do not vote for Biden. I had a lady that I never met. Her last name was Hagerman. Her last name was Hagerman. Right? Hold on. My last name is Hagerman. I'm a Hagerman. All right?
Right.
I had a lady on my Facebook, one of my Facebook friends, her last name was Hagerman. Never met her in my life. She told me she was going to disown me. She was going to disown me because I was pushing everybody. I was trying to push everybody to please reelect Trump because I'm
glad you brought that up.
Now listen, hold on. During the campaign, Biden kept talking about, you can go back and look at it. It's all over YouTube. He kept talking about shutting down the coal plants. He kept talking about this whole Green New Deal, this whole climate change stuff. We have to protect the world. That's why we are paying more for energy prices, because refuses to let America. He refuses to let America drill for their own oil. But instead, what does he do? He goes out and begs Saudi Arabia for oil. We could be digging our own oil. We were under Trump, we were an exporter. We were a net exporter.
But you know what's crazy though?
Biden was just diagnosed with dementia, so
I didn't want to turn. I'm sorry to go there. I didn't want to turn this into a whole Trump thing, but I have to point out the obvious.
Right.
And it's obvious to me. It's obvious to me right now. He's blaming the White House's narrative is blaming Russia, the whole Russia-Ukraine war, because it's the reason behind our high gas prices. Well, tell me, when in your lifetime do you ever remember gas prices being cheaper in Mexico? Why is it Mexico paying $3? Mexico is $3 and change. There's people in Arizona, Texas, driving over the border to fill their gas tanks. So why didn't the Russia-Ukraine war affect Mexico?
And they're part of the United States.
Right.
But I think I think we look at the back end of it instead of exactly what's right in front of us. So I don't blame Biden, even though I know he's stupid as shit. But Trump, to me, set a better fucking example to Congress, because they're the ones that really run this shit. He's just a middleman. Like, you throw a bone out and he's gonna fetch that bitch. And this is what I want y'all to do. We're gonna pass it or not. So at the end of the day, I blame Congress for all of this stupid shit that's going on. Biden is just the puppet master. And at the end of the day, the way I see it as, it's just like, okay, well, you have this plan in motion. You've been having this shit in motion for how many years now? So when you get assassinated, nobody's going after Congress. Trump, literally, I can respect Trump now because I saw what he was doing. I didn't see it then. But I respect him now because he put his foot down. He said, okay, so y'all don't want to do what I'm asking y'all to do? Shut the whole government down. Shut all this shit down. If ain't nobody making no money, can't nobody come up to no agreements, ain't nobody moving. Fuck. I can respect that than just being a yes man.
Right.
Man, at the end of the day.
Hey, Rich, I want to ask you a question. I want to ask you all y'all, okay? Now, Rich brought up a story of something that he went through on Facebook and how he was being persecuted because of his opinion. Okay. Now, I want everybody to kind of examine this here. What the fuck significance did Biden have for people to have such a high emotional response? Isn't that strange? Nobody doesn't think that that's strange that people were so gung-ho. They were so gung-ho.
Check this out.
On
I
Biden.
had somebody tell me. I had somebody literally tell me on Facebook. They said, anybody but Trump.
Right.
Anybody
Why
but
is
Trump.
Why do you think this is the question? Why do you think that happened? And then when you look at it, what do you have to substantiate how emotional you feel? How angry you are? What's substantiating that? Why you feel like that? And they can't give you a clear answer. Why do you think that is? Does anybody think that that's a strange phenomenon?
It's always strange because anytime you ask them, nobody has nothing to say. Like, well, he's just the greatest of all time. Oh, fuck.
Exactly. That's my point. That's my point. Now check this out. Now I'm gonna connect some dots here. Check this out. Now you remember around that time, to me, I looked at it as an experiment. But everybody remember the famous chicken sandwich, right?
That everybody went crazy for. Beating people
everybody
up in lines and shit.
The
Popeyes, Louisiana.
Now let's look at that. Let's just take a peek at that. Okay. So now you're going to stand in the line for an hour or 2 hours for a chicken sandwich. And then when you ask them, how was the chicken sandwich? It was all right. You know, it was all right. Not, man, that shit was so good. It's a shame. They say it was okay. It was pretty decent. But you stood in an hour on 3 or 4 different occasions in the line for 2 hours on 3 or 4 different occasions. Why is that? And then you ask him, you say, would you stand in the line? Would you stand in the line for an hour for the best tasting burger in the world? What? Nigga, I ain't standing in no line for no damn hour. You know what I'm saying? Why did you do it? What's going on?
Was better. We wanted to see if Chick-fil-A was better than Popeyes.
No, that ain't what I think it is.
No, I'm just talking shit.
I know. I'm
monkey
just saying.
see, monkey do.
No, I hear you. But listen though, it's something. There's a connection here. There's a connection here, and what I think it is suggestive brainwashing. I think it's suggestive brainwashing because if you think about it, when you have an opinion on something, you base that opinion upon.
I think what you're alluding.
You base that opinion.
What you're alluding to, Cuzzo.
Yeah.
Cuzzo, it's called groupthink.
Huh?
Groupthink. The hive mentality.
Yep.
They call it the
but
hive mind.
I think that they were suggestive because everybody scrolls through their social media, and then after so many scrolls, it's just like this. Like this guy that was in prison.
Back the fuck up away from me,
These
man.
guys that were in
How about
prison.
that?
Hold on. These guys that are in prison. You were bending over in his face.
I was there first.
Listen, he's 70 years old.
I understand. That's why I left.
Okay, listen. Excuse me. Okay.
It's getting rough.
No, listen. Sorry about that, John.
Okay. Maybe you should put a camera on that.
Right.
Put a camera on that.
All I heard was violence.
Okay. Hey, we live. All right, listen. Okay. Now, damn. Okay, this is where I was getting at. Connected the dots. All right. With the mentality of the people who were voting for Biden and the famous chicken sandwich. Okay. Now, back to my point. I was with the guy that was in prison. Okay. So these guys that didn't have no money on their books and stuff, what they would do is they would write letters to pen pals, these women and things, right? But they would write it in such a way where it was like a brainwashing technique. Every so many words, they would add a word. Every so many words, they would add a word. And the next thing you know, now these people in love and they sending their money. They got money on their books, they paying their debts and everything. You know what I mean? So now I just said that to say, if these guys in prisons doing this type of shit, think about social media when you scrolling and you see these memes, all these different types of memes, and they were prompting you to form an opinion. You see what I'm saying? Because anytime, like for instance, if you have an opinion on something, right? Or no, I'm sorry, memory. If you have a memory, you remember because of things that you've been through or something that you have done, and then that memory goes into a file into your brain or whatever, and then you access that file and open it up and you remember what happened during that time, the circumstances of that time, right? But when you've been suggestively brainwashed, there's a file there. But when you open that bitch, there's nothing in it. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
There's nothing in it. So you had this high emotional response, and you strongly believe this, but you have nothing to base it on. You know what I mean?
That was a reason why I stayed off of Facebook, because Mark Zuckerberg has something in his policy. And it's like, you know how you see maybe a family member or maybe one of your friends, somebody died that day. So what they do is they tap into your emotional standpoint of where you stand emotionally. And they just show you all of that shit. So if you reply to it or you like it, your next status and anything else from that day forward will change into death. They'll all be death. If you find something happy, then they'll all be happy. So they psychologically fuck with your mind. So I had to stay off of Facebook.
Yeah,
because
they suggestively
Mark Zuckerberg said that's what he's doing.
And you know what? I believe that chicken sandwich was an experiment, man. I believe that the chicken sandwich was an experiment to see how accurate and successful it was. I mean, why the fuck somebody standing in a line? They fighting and shit. It's high emotional response. It means they've been suggestively brainwashed. They're standing in line, they fight. Nigga, you took cuts. They stabbing each other and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And who like chicken the most? Who like chicken the most? Be honest.
I mean, who
Black
the fuck
people.
gonna stand in the line for 3
Black
hours?
people love fucking chicken.
Right. But ain't nobody standing in no line for 3 hours for a chicken sandwich, man.
I mean, we say the same thing about Jordans. Psychologically,
Yeah, that's
they
Jordans.
crazy. And you know what I'm saying? It's the same color shoe that's coming out every year.
No, think about this. Think about this too.
Touch door handles.
Think about this. Hey, y'all, listen. Think about this for a second. How long has black folk been eating chicken? Right? For their entire lives. And for chicken to be that good,
My hands at least 20 times a day.
and you'll stand in line
You ain't getting that
that
phobia.
long
Right.
for it. But there had to have been some gun violence, I do believe, which is
Yeah,
the
it was
topic,
gun
but
violence, stabbings, all types of stuff. Come on, man. That's not
listen,
natural.
y'all.
That's not normal.
Hey, listen. We're gonna take this conversation and our opinions to the Shank Show, which is has already begun, I believe.
It started? Okay.
And I appreciate y'all coming on. Thanks, tons, man.
Got it. You guys, always a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
King, I've invited you to the Shank Show as well.
You don't know what your motherfuckers been touching.
Nero.
Yo,
Erie.
Yeah, I'm here.
They got a fucking new disease.
This is how I come on the Shank Show, my brother.
All right.
Come on the Shank Show. We taking this conversation to the Shank Show.
Oh, man.
This is how I do.
Okay, let me find it. Let's see if I got a link.
Guns, you got the,
Oh, I
you got
see
the
it.
link
I see.
too.
Yep, I see it.
All right. Thank y'all
Okay.
for coming out. God bless the night. Make sure y'all like and subscribe.
God bless.
Make sure y'all like and subscribe.
Okay.
That's all.
God bless everyone. I'm going to the Shank Show right now. I'm going to be a guest, and I'm inviting my guests to be on there because we family. This is a universe. This is
That's right.
Like the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like you had Iron Man's movies, but not only did you see him in his own movies, you saw him in the Avengers movies, right?
Right.
Not only did you see Thor in his own movies, Thor made an appearance in somebody else's movie, right? So that's what this is. That's what we doing here. You know, we family, we stick together, we support each other.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? What we do. We taking this.
You ready to COVID?
We had our own little party. The topic of the show was guns, lots of guns. Thank you guys.
Make a new one, boys.
Got more content coming up. We got more content coming up. Y'all please join me, Nero King. Y'all please join me on the Shank Show. I'm gonna be there in a minute. I'm a big nigga. I gotta give me something to eat. I haven't ate all day, but I'm about to be on there.
All right. How do you get on there?
Okay. The link you just sent got me right back to your I think the link sent me right back to your page. So let me see.
Hold on.
Yeah, that's what it did to me too.
All right, thank you.
My bad. That's what
Yeah, because I'm like, yo, I'm back over here.
I must be special, man. Hold on.
Man, we're gonna hire a tech guy for you, bro.
You know, I'm gonna get this right. Look, I'm determined to get this right. Trust me. Hold on. Okay, I appreciate y'all once again. Um, you know, and my final thoughts are it's good to have support. You know, everybody else do it. The Mexicans, the Arabs. I just I'm thankful and I'm proud that we as black men can get on a platform and get along and not fight and not you know like our history has shown us to do. So I'm very proud that I could bring a collective group together and accomplish that. To me, that's a great, huge accomplishment, but it's not going to stop there. It's going to continue. And I'm excited for what the future brings. I have a lot of things coming up, and I just want to apologize for the production. You know, I'm working at it. Like I always say, we are in Tony Stark's cave, and we're working with a bunch of scraps. But the final product is going to be an Iron Man. So y'all just stick with me. Don't bail out when the going gets rough, and I'm telling you, you will not regret it.